The impact of climate change is no longer confined to environmental degradation alone. It has become a significant contributor to displacement and instability in various regions, particularly the Gulf of Guinea. It is also a significant driver of instability and conflict in vulnerable regions across the world. In the Gulf of Guinea, particularly in Nigeria, the effects of changing droughts, flooding, and desertification have led to mass displacement, competition over dwindling resources, and increased tensions between communities as traditional livelihoods are disrupted and governance structures weakened. Criminal networks exploit these vulnerabilities, driving arms smuggling and exacerbating regional instability. This instability, in turn, fueled the demand for arms, contributing to the rise in the proliferation of small arms and light weapons.
Though there have been previous and ongoing investigations and reports on the proliferation of small arms and light weapons through the maritime domain, the government is interested in further interrogation of the Gulf of Guinea as a major route of arms trafficking. It will be recalled that a large chunk of illicit small arms and light weapons were recovered by the Nigeria Customs Service in June 2024 at the Onne port. It is a clear indication that gun-running activities through the maritime domain is on the increase. The additional interrogation of the nexus between climate change, armed violence, and the proliferation of small arms within the countries of the Gulf of Guinea is indeed apt at this point in time.
When we have drought and desertification, it causes problems between people who are seeking for means of livelihood. Like the rivers in the, let's say, in the Borno side where we have the Lake Chad Basin, there are people who live there, there are people who fish there, for instance, and then all of a sudden the river will dry up, and then they start having problems with livelihood. And then we have grasses drying up, and then the herders will start looking for places to graze. In the course of looking for a place to graze, they start having problems with host communities. And then when you're talking about flooding in the other side, the depletion of the ice caps and all that, and then heavy rainfalls, which is responsible for flooding, like what we are seeing today in Borno State and of course in Niger State, where flood has washed up communities, washing up all farmlands. In this part of the world, we need to be ready for emergencies like this. When there are emergencies like this, people should immediately receive the respite that they need from government agencies and then quarter them properly so that we don't have crisis in our hands.